Very good morning to all. This is John Bernard, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Computer Application, St. Joseph College of Arts and Science, Autonomous, Cuddalore. Today I am going to discuss about Introduction to .NET. The first one is what is .NET? So Microsoft .NET is a framework which provides a common platform to execute or run the application developed in various programming languages. The main objective of .NET framework is to support multiple languages. So .NET framework is an IDE to develop or build an application and running a web services and other applications. The second one is .NET framework is announced in the year of 2000. So now .NET provide Visual Studio 2017 IDE. So using this software, this is the latest version. So we can use .NET languages. The third one, the main intention was to bridge the gap in interoperability between services of various programming language. That means .NET framework provides multiple languages. Say for example, Java .NET native languages such as VB.NET, C#.NET, C++.NET, it's like that. So if you want to implement one project, so you can use more number of languages. For example, within application, you can use both VB.NET and C# language. So next slide is objective of .NET framework. So .NET framework is designed to fulfill the following objective. The first one is object-oriented concept. So in C# language provide object-oriented concept. That means we can use encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphisms, etc. The second one is provide environment for developing various types of application such as Windows, web, etc. The same thing or C# language provide different types of application, console based, Windows based, web based, mobile based, web services, etc. The third one, to ensure that code based on the .NET framework can integrate with any other code. I already said within application we can have more than one language. Say for example VB.NET and C#. So next one. So this is the .NET framework architecture. We have 6 layers. The topmost layer is .NET native languages. VB.NET, C++.NET, C#.NET, JavaScript.NET, etc. This is the first layer. That means .NET framework will support more number of language. That's all. The second one is common language specifications. So that means .NET framework defines a set of rules and regulations to enable interoperability on the different languages. So we will see later. The third one, different types of applications. If you want to develop web application, so .NET provide ASP.NET concept. So using the ASP.NET we can develop web application. And then using C# language we can develop Windows based application. That means desktop application. The third one, ADO.NET, that is active data object. So this is the provider is used to connect connections between your application and the database. So that's why we are using ADO.NET. The fourth layer is base class library, in short term BCL. So it's nothing but it's a library file. So if you are using C language, we can have hash include stdio.h. If you use Java, import java.io.asterisk. Say for example in C# using system. So system is a base class library. The next one is common language runtime. So the short term called CLR. It's like Java. Java we have JVM, Java Virtual Machine. It's like that. In .NET Framework we have CLR. So it's a runtime environment in which programs are executed. The last one is operating system. So .NET Framework will work only in Windows operating system. That too latest operating systems such as Windows XP, Windows 7, 8, 10 like this. So we move on to the next slide. So .NET Framework architecture consists of three major categories. One is CLS, second one is BCL, third one is CLR. We will discuss one by one. So CLS, Common Language Specification. I already said Common Language Specification is nothing but it's a common format. .NET framework follows set of rules and regulations. So we can have here some example for CLS. CLS perform the following functions. Establishes a framework that helps enables class language integration, type safety, high performance code execution. Defines rules that language must follow, which helps ensure that object returning different language can interact with each other. So these are some of the theory part. Here I can give one simple example for common language specifications. Now I move on to the Visual Studio 2010. So this is the environment we can develop console application using C# language. Now data types, the basic things. So different data types are there. Integer, floating, character, boolean, like that. So here I can use integer data type. So integer data type we have different data. For example, byte, short, int, long, like this. So here I can use int data type. So int is a keyword. Here I can use a variable called a. So this one line ended with semicolon. So next line. So here I can use system, just you can follow, system dot int 32. I can use another variable b. So here I type two lines. So two lines, both are same. The variable will be changed. Variable are changed, but both are integer variable. The first line is int belongs to keyword in data types, integer data types. So the language is C#. So first line is we can replace in VB.NET. I can return as integer instead of int. The second line is, can you understand? The first line is int a in C# language. Suppose I am using VB.NET, I can use integer instead of int. Okay. So .NET provide more than 65 languages. Okay. Now what's the work of CLS, Common Language Specification? So CLS, it has one common type system. So in common type system is nothing but it maintains data types. Suppose if you are using integer data type, that means common language specification and common type system which follows some common format like this. Say for example system.int 32. So 32-bit integer, that means integer. Suppose if you are using int 16 means short, int 64 means long. So int 32 is int. So int 32 is a common type system. It consists which belongs to common language specifications. If you have some other language for integer, so common language specification has only one type plus int 32. So this is the common format. So int 32 provides int or integer, whatever may be. So this is an example. It's the best example for common language specifications. The next one is .NET Framework Base Class Library. The class library is a comprehensive, object-oriented collection of reusable types. So class library means, that stdio.h, it provides more number of functions. For say, for example, it has scanf, printf functions. It's like that. Okay. Then we can use this reusability component. Same thing here. Here the base class library. Say for example, so here I am using C# language. So here using system is a base class library. Using system.collection.generic base class library. System.link, system.text. These are all example for base class library. It's like header file. It's like stdio.h or java.io. So here we can have two types of class library. One is base class library, the another one is framework class library. Framework class library means we have, suppose if we are using another language. So now we are using C# language. So C# language itself have one class library called using .NET Framework Microsoft C#, Microsoft.C#. If you are using C# language, so FCL Framework Class Library will consider as it provides Microsoft.C#. So if you are using VB, Microsoft.Visual Basic, it's like that. So based on the language, the class library will be changed. So for C# language, .NET provide Microsoft.C#. So within C# language we have more number of files, that is library files, system.link, system.text, etc. So like that. So and then this class library can be used to develop applications that include traditional command line application, graphical user interface, application based on the latest innovations provided by ASP.NET, web form, XML web services, etc. These are nothing. So if you are using console application, we can have the basic namespace using system, that is class library. If I am using Windows based application, that means I should use, or I must use, using system.windows.forms. It's a basic library files for to create Windows based application. If you are using web application, we must use using system.web. So are you clear? So traditional command line application, graphical user means desktop application based, this is ASP.NET is web oriented, web based language. So these are the example for base class library. The next one is common language runtime. So common language runtime, CLR ensure the common runtime environment for all .NET language. Any language, any .NET language that execute programs. For example, if you are using C# language, so C# coding will be executed through CLR. VB.NET language will execute through CLR. So CLR is a runtime, is an environment. Runtime is an environment in which programs are executed. So it is a lifeline of .NET application. So the CLR is an environment in which we can run our .NET application that have been compiled to IL. So that is intermediate language. So we have different types of languages. So .NET Framework provides MSIL, Microsoft Intermediate Language. So that language, that is, suppose if you are using C# language, that language will be converted into IL. IL code can be understood by CLR. So IL code can be converted into machine code or native executable code. So next one is introduction to ASP.NET. So ASP.NET is nothing but active server pages to develop dynamic web application. So here it is a convergence of two major Microsoft technology. One is active server pages, second one is .NET framework. So active server pages is the previous versions. Before .NET framework we have active server pages. There is no .NET concept. So using ASP technology is not a language, it's a technology. There we can use any scripting concept, VB.NET or VB script or JavaScript. So whereas in .NET framework we can use ASP, that is dynamic server-side scripting technology. So here we can implement using .NET framework concept. Say for example, instead of VB script or JavaScript, we can use C# language. So you know that C# language provide object-oriented concept. So we have different features in C#. So it has a large set of new controls. So we have different toolbox controls. So if you take new project, Windows application, that is desktop application. So as a large set of new controls. So now this is a toolbox. We have different toolbox like label, toolbox. We have a button control, checkbox, checklist, combo box, like this. This is a set of toolbox. Here we have a large set of new controls. Means if you add, this is a Windows application. If you want to use website, means web-based application, if I am using ASP.NET, here we can have more number of controls compared than C#, Windows based applications. It will take some time, first time loading. So then it is programmable using any of .NET languages. VB.NET already said. Using a web application, ASP.NET is a front end. The code begin file is VB.NET C#. We can use any language. So and then the extension of ASP.NET is .ASPX. So in previous concept, simply we are using ASP, means the extension is ASP. Suppose if we are using ASP in .NET framework, the extension will be changed. The extension is ASPX. So now you can see the toolbox. So go to design part. Master page. So here, toolbox. So here more number of controls. This is similar to, this is actually this is a C# control. We have some more controls is called validation control, page validation, login control. These are things, etc. Ajax control, and then web parts, HTML controls. So we have more number of controls. So that's why we called as a large set of new controls. I think the previous thing is ASP is nothing but active server pages. the effective and flexible technology for creating interactive and dynamic web pages. So using ASP.NET we can develop web-based language, we can web-based application executed on the web browser. So there are two major category. One is ASP, another one is .NET framework. ASP is nothing but server-side scripting technology. In this technology we are using VBScript or JavaScript. So now we can replacing with the help of .NET framework, we can use VB.NET or C#.NET instead of VBScript and JavaScript. And also it has large set of controls we have seen now. And then it is a programmer using any of the .NET languages. So next one is Windows Forms. So Windows Form is a graphical user interface. So the short term we can call it as GUI. Next one is it is used to develop desktop application. This form is saved with the CS extension. For example, if you are using C# language, the extension is .cs. It is also termed as WinForm. So you can see this example, then only you can understand. Go to File, New, take Project, and then you select Windows Forms. This Windows Forms, here you can have button control, here I can execute this program. So this is the output of this program. This design part, that's no coding. This is called a desktop application or Windows Forms. So this is a graphical. GUI is nothing but graphical user interface. That means user can interact with the forms. The next one is ADO.NET. It is used to establish connections between our applications and data sources. It means if you develop Windows based application or console, whatever may be, so that application can be interact with the backend called data source. Data sources may be databases, like using MS Access we can create database, Oracle SQL Server, MySQL, etc. So it consists of classes. So ADO.NET consists of different classes. So using the classes to read, write, delete or modify your data. So thank you. I don't know.